Hey guys, how you going? It is a pregame show, and we are here to look at the games in the NBA. 4 games on today, low volume day, and a weird day where the games are backstacked, bottom stacked. We all know we love a stacked bottom. We've only got the one early game at 7:30. We've got another game at 8 Eastern, and then 2 games at the 7 West Coast or 7 Pacific. So it's a weird schedule. Very weird schedule. We don't get these very often. Hello, everybody. If you are here, I appreciate you being here. Why don't you do the thing that you need to do? Thumb it up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're on Operation 80K now. Leave your comments in the chat. We've got 2 videos out today already. Not true. Sorry, I lied. Buy low, sell high is already out. That's out this morning. Go check it out. 5 buy lows, 5 sell highs. And then straight after this show, we will go into the Wednesday 10-game waiver stream preview daily look-ahead show. It's got Big Alex Caruso, the Rabbit Hunter, on the thumbnail. So we'll talk about that one as well. That'll come straight after this pregame show. Good to have you guys here as usual. We are going to, I think we'll do a dribble game today. There's only 4 games on, so we might as well do it. And then let's just go and have a look at what news that we're not even waiting for that much news. Chris Paul is still questionable. Shaedon Sharpe is questionable, and Grayson Allen is probable. So that's all we're waiting on. We're waiting on lineups. All we know is Ja Morant is going to start. So I'll chuck that screen across for you guys right now, and take a look at it. And we'll see. Look, yeah, we don't know the Grizzlies lineup. Like, who knows? Like, it could be a million different things. Zion is playing. He was questionable heading into the game, but he's playing against Ja, so that's great. Ricardo says, I may have overlooked to include Kobe as a sell high. Actually, 100% not true, Ricardo, because last week I had Kobe White as a sell high. I just don't put the same guys on 2 weeks in a row. So last week, Kobe White was a sell high player. So I did not forget him. Timmy says that's the incorrect Grizzly for today's cover. It's actually not, because it's Jaren Jackson, and I searched up Jaren Jackson, found his name, found his picture, and put it on there. It's the right guy. That's who I wanted on there. Something else happening today that I need to know about? Or the fact that I had Ja Morant on the cover for the show that was 2 shows before this, and I didn't just want Ja all over my bloody page. But anyway, we dropping Ben Simmons. Shout out Anan for coming in from 4 weeks ago. Didn't know how you found the stream from 4 weeks ago, but it's good to see you here. What else have we got going? Does Zach Collins have any value beyond today's stream? No, I have mentioned this 6 times in the last week that he is if he's playing a backup, he is a drop. And if he's playing 16 minutes a night, he is a drop. It's really, really hard to hold on to reserve players in the hope that they get value if someone gets hurt. That's why we're not just stashing Andre Drummond. And Onyeka Okongwu is different because he can have value as a reserve because he plays 24 minutes. So if Collins is playing 16 a night, then no. You can't hold on to that. Haziel, welcome to 3 years ago. I don't have the small cups of coffee anymore, mate. It's always a big one there because I bought the new machine like a year or so ago. 2 years ago? A year and a half ago. May 2021? May 2021, I bought the big machine with the coffee grounds, the fresh beans that I get delivered, and I grind it up and do it that way. So now I have the big coffees instead of the espressos. Double shots, though, of course. Let's wait on more news. Grizzlies lineup, Morant, Bane, Williams, Jackson, and Biyombo. So Tillman is benched, and the Pelicans lineup is the same. The Tillman situation this season has been just so very strange. How does he go from playoff starter, opening night starter, to being honestly out of the rotation for many, many times? Not that he was good yesterday, because he wasn't, but it's just a very weird scenario. Obviously, Jacob Gilead moves to the bench as well for Memphis, with Ja returning, but it is interesting that Vince Williams stays. Now, he won't stay, I'm guessing, when Marcus Smart is back, but you'd have to say they've got a fair degree of faith in him, or confidence in him anyway. There you go. Just posting all the statuses on Basketball Monster. You'll see them all up there on that screen that's in front of you. The Pelicans lineup, McCollum, Ingram, Jones, Zion, and Valanciunas. So we know that one. I'm not sure we'll get much in terms of other lineups come through here. Oh, we're here to chat anyway. So, Angela, hello. How are you? Marcus Smart, 6-man. Don't know, Jonathan. He could. I don't think it really matters. I think he still plays starters minutes regardless, but we just don't know because he's not back yet. It is possible. What's the game of the data? It's got to be Ja versus Zion, the return of Morant. It has to be. I don't know what else it could be. It's not Spurs Bucks, I'll tell you that much. It's not Suns Blazers. Oh, actually, Celtics but Warriors are shithouse. Is it Celtics Warriors? No, I think it's this one. I think it's the first game because there's just a lot more to see and work out. Even though Memphis is bad. David actually addressed this Wendell Carter thing specifically on the show that's going to follow this. I'm sort of interested in it. Yes, Obi, I'm sort of interested in it. Ricardo Tillman is not starting today, so another Ricardo L. Oh, well, what are you going to do about it? What's the news on Butler? It says he is out. That's because he is. There you go. If Miles can never play in Toronto, will he... Oh, Gabe Vincent might be back tomorrow. I'll get to that question in a second. I'm pretty sure that Miles won't have any longer-term issues in Toronto. I think they'll get it fixed. These things don't always last forever either. There's some sort of time frame on them. I don't know what it is exactly. But I don't think it'll be a forever issue. Of course, Anthony Davis is questionable with his groin spasm. And Jared Vanderbilt is probable. I talked about this on the preview show as well, or the look-ahead show, just talking about how I'm not going to include these Lakers dickheads because they put them in every bloody... every report they're questionable. Anyway, back to that Miles Bridges question. Did I lose it? I think I lost it here. Oh yeah, if Miles can never play in Toronto, will he ever get another NBA contract? Yes. Imagine a playoff series where he can't play. That is the problem, right? That would be the issue. But I believe that there have been instances of this in the past with NBA players, and they work out some sort of temporary waiver scenario to get it done. It's just that the Hornets, you'd be shocked at this, they're a little inept. They didn't look into it in advance, and yeah, that might have had an impact on them to a degree. We'll see. I don't think it'll be a long-term problem, honestly. But we're 100% going to find out soon, aren't we? Or not soon. They play in like February or March in Toronto. So they will, hopefully for them and for the sanity of everyone involved, get something sorted out so we don't have to deal with this nonsense. And honestly, I just don't want to talk about Miles Bridges. He obviously, I think he shouldn't be in the league. It's pretty simple, but whatever. That's where we're at. Okay. How do I feel about Biyombo tonight? Like tonight, it's fine. There's 4 games on. Stream him in. Long term, I don't think so. Not interested. What Lego projects do I have downstairs that are waiting for? Oh, heaps, man. Like I've got a few and I just haven't built them. I've got this like jazz club, big jazz club. I've got, I don't know, there's about 4 things down there that I haven't built. Any chance Pod gets small forward designation? No, he's really only playing shooting guard at the moment. So I know people always clamour to get a guy for a position that helps their team out a lot. But if I go and have a look at our data, which I manually try and compile, the positional stuff, I'll tell you how much Pod has played at each position. I'll just go and double check it. Because he's... Actually, I'm going to adjust that. I'm going to put him in a different spot there. Yep, all right. Let's have a look. What do I have Pajemski's numbers at? I've got him at 1% point guard, 93% shooting guard, 6% small forward. 6% is okay. I don't think that's enough to get him listed as a small forward. Who will have a better career, Pajemski or DiVincenzo? Pajemski. Tari Eason or Jabari Smith? Well, that's a good question. Rest of season. I don't know, actually. Probably Smith. I just feel better with his minutes. Is Trey Jones an ad with Wemby out? Minutes bump? I don't really think that impacts him significantly. Like, Zach Collins will start. And then what else changes? Like, how I don't see how that impacts Trey Jones at all. Maybe it does. But absolutely nothing stands out as to why it would change. 2 questions. Do you think it's a legit questionable when he sits on a back-to-back? Same for Miles Turner going into a back-to-back. I don't know. I find it hard to take any Lakers questionable tag on LeBron and AD as legit at all because they never are. They give them that tag every single game. And actually, they've changed it. They haven't even made it as his calf this time. Sorry, his hip. Now it's his ankle. So, like, I don't even know. Could it be on a back-to-back? Sure, he's played back-to-backs this season. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I think it's fine. I think Miles Turner is a little bit of a risk there, obviously, on a back-to-back with hamstring soreness, but who knows? What is Vincent's role? Yeah, that's a good question because he was sort of playing like a 20-minute-a-night role coming off the bench. What it does is it just puts cramps into Prince and Reddish and Russell, maybe. It's hard because at the start of the season, we didn't have Vanderbilt in that mix as well. So those minutes weren't there. And Reeves was starting, and it was all a bit different. So would I grab Gabe in 14? I don't think so. Sims did start. Yes, he did. You're right, Ricardo. He did. Did I forget to introduce myself in a funny way? I never do it on the pregame shows. Do I think Monte Ellis is a good comparison for Cam Thomas? No, I don't actually. Monte was never that high usage. And Monte was a better passer. No, I don't think it's the same player. No. Which rookie were you most wrong on as of now, pre-draft analysis? Maybe it's probably Jaquez, honestly. I thought that he would really struggle shooting because he did for 4 years in college, but he's come in been really good. I thought he would be a useful enough 9th man, 8th man sort of a player, which is honestly what he's sort of playing. But he's been way better than I thought, so it's probably him. Obviously, Scoot's been bad, and I was very high on him, so maybe it's him in the other direction. What do we do with Sharp? Dayron? I know you mean Shaden. You do absolutely nothing with Shaden Sharp. You do nothing with it. Don't panic over 2 bad games when this is always going to be a likely reduction in production. Well, yeah, dribble game. Let's go. All right. Let's Jamal Murray and Harrison Barnes. Trey Lyles? Trey Lyles, isn't it? I'm trying to think, did Lyles play for the... He did. That's Trey Lyles. Bang. All right, good. Easy. I don't know why I was overthinking that one so much. Is ESPN and Yahoo racist? Probably, yeah. They keep taking away Okongwu's defensive stats. They think he's DeAndre Hunter. I haven't noticed that, honestly, but I wouldn't be shocked, man. But it's also not them that does it. It's the NBA's stat provider that gives them to them. So it's actually not them. But that is interesting. If that is true, I don't know. We're going with Cam Thomas. How do I feel about mid to late career Jason Terry for Cam Thomas? He doesn't take enough threes, Cam Thomas. He's too heavily dependent on... Like, Terry was never high usage at all like that, especially late career. Cam Thomas is a guy that dominates the entire usage in the offense and on mid-range twos. Who's that player? Like, way worse prime Kobe? Way worse DeMar DeRozan with less passing, but better three-point shot? That's who he is. He's a guy that scores a lot, but these other players don't have that usage at all. And he just does mid-ranges. Isolation mid-ranges. That's what he does. Lively has been ruled out for his 3rd game, but no injured tag. Do we have to wait until he doesn't play tomorrow to get one? Okay, so this is a common thing, and I think that you do understand it because you mentioned a couple of things there, but I just want to have a look at a couple of details here on Lively. So Lively missed... He was ruled out on Saturday. Okay, so this is what needs to happen, okay? This is a common misconception with injury tags on Yahoo to get the INJ. Also, don't play IL leagues. Yahoo Public Leagues are garbage as well. You got to have IL Plus, okay? It is not 3 games missed. It is 7 days missed. You have to be out for 7 days or projected to miss 7 days. Lively got hurt on Saturday. So Saturday, that would mean that Friday is the 7th day. And at the moment, he has not been ruled out for Friday. If he gets ruled out for Friday, their next game would be the Saturday, and then he would get the tag. That is their rule, and they have said that many times. Now, sometimes some idiot goes in there and cavalierly breaks it, but it has to be out 7 days or projected out 7 days. So as soon as he gets ruled out, if he does get ruled out on Friday, then he will get the tag. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they chuck it on him today. But the rule... No, I'm not wrong because I know the rule. But sometimes they break the rule for no reason because they get bombarded with tweets saying, hey, give the INJ tag. Where's the tag? Where's the tag? Also, just play IL+. But yeah, there you go. I just saw someone saying Albert's question doesn't make sense. Why did I skip my message? Albert, there's a million. There's not a million, but I can't answer every single question on here, my guy. It's impossible. Stream Vince Williams for today, Jordan says. Yes. I think that's good. Any more news? Not really. Cam Thomas is like the 4th or 5th best player on that team. Yes. Why doesn't McCall or Cam Johnson grab the... Because he is enabled at the moment, and this is what he does when he plays. And this is part of why, after he had those 40-point games last season, why they just took him out of the rotation. Because it just screwed everything up for the rest of the team. That's why they did. I'm telling you, that's why they did it. Because he didn't defend, he didn't pass, and he just took over the entire offense and led to bad offense. At the moment, though, they like what he's done, and he's improved a lot. But we've seen Bridges and Johnson's usage come way down. And I don't know. I just cannot see how Cam Thomas, as the number one offensive guy on your team, makes any team good. Maybe that changes. Am I a hater? I don't know. I know it's cool to do step backs and they go in. You go, oh, we had 40 points. And that is all cool. But if you score 40 points and then no one else contributes anything, it doesn't actually do anything to help your team win. And that's always my frustration with him as a player. He's the biggest highlight guy ever. Albert, are you crying now? Because I didn't answer your question. Jesus Christ. Do I think Wemby is the reason Keldon's steals are so high? Wemby pulls the ball away. Keldon seems to get a lot. JL, that is interesting theory, but as a general rule, NBA statisticians give the steal to the guy that generates the steal, not the guy that recovers the steal. If they are doing it that way, and there is a way. They used to be able to, I think you can still do it on NBA.com. You can go look at the interactive box scores and you can click on the steals and you can see how they get generated. You can see, they have clips of them. Maybe they only have it for shot attempts. I have to check it with steals. But usually, the rule is who generates the steal. So if you deflect the ball and you touch it and someone else grabs it, it's counted as your steal. If you strip it and someone else picks it up, it's your steal. That's usually how they credit them. But that is interesting. I'd have to check that. Ricardo, none of these things happen. I'm glad you live in a world where things are imaginary, but well done. I didn't endorse Wemby. I haven't even done a single show talking about Rookie of the Year. In fact, when someone asked me 2 weeks ago, who's my Rookie of the Year right now, I said it's probably Chet. But you know what? I know people think this. Wembanyama's outperforming Chet for fantasy this season. Oh, but on Yahoo, Chet's actually ninth. Yeah, but turnovers skew the rankings that don't make sense. Victor's actually, over the last month, I tweeted this out yesterday, Wembanyama is 7th in -1 category rankings. He's ahead of Nikola Jokic over the last month. Chet's 30th in that time, by the way. Appreciate that, Jared. Thank you. I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate it. All right, Alberto. Chuck your question. Oh, no, Alberto. Arthur Joaquim, Roca Mata, Arthur Joaquim. Chuck your question in again. I'll get to it. If Collins is traded, would I grab Hendricks immediately? Yeah, but there's no guarantee that it happens, right? There's no guarantee that they go that way. They could start, like they're doing now, Fontecchio and Markkanen. They could start Olynyk. I think eventually that would be Hendricks' job, but I think if you went and did it and grabbed him, right, you would be annoyed early on. Low 30s in minutes for Ja, which I think I would have projected anyway. So not that different. Okay, I think it's... I know I'm wasting time talking about it now, but I think it's a waste of time trying to predict trades. It's just there's too much uncertainty. I've got a lot of other stuff to do, honestly. What players... It's a losing proposition to base fantasy moves on a lot of this sort of stuff as a general rule. Like, could OG get traded? Could Siakam get traded? Could Pirtle get traded? Could Trent get traded? Sure. Who would come back? I don't know. There's like 450 players in the NBA. So there's literally no way of knowing any of that. Remember, a trade has other players come back. So you waste your time on that. That's exactly what you've done. Wasted your time. Since I'm a Bulls fan, I'm not really a Bulls fan. I used to be. I'm not anymore. Have I been to Chicago? Yes, I have. I was in Chicago 2017. 2017, I was in there. Michael, Ja Morant is playing. He is starting. He's playing low 30s in minutes. Okay. EJ Stew, what's the severity of Mark Williams' injury? Is there a possibility he might require back surgery? I am not I can't make shit up. Like I don't actually know what's wrong with him. This is my problem with the Hornets. I've got no idea what the problem is. Is there a possibility with back surgery? Sure. Is there a possibility there's nothing wrong? No. But is there a possibility that it's just a muscle spasm? Sure. But I can't speculate on that shit. I've got no idea. Their reporting is horrible. We have no clue of what's going on. So surgery is a possibility in any scenario for any injury. But there's no point like speculating that. Is streaming Malachi? I thought they read Malacca at first. Is streaming Malachi? Yeah, like stream Malachi today. I assume that's what you're asking. Malik Beasley back starting. Okay. So that would mean Andre Jackson off the bench. There was a guy in here. He was having fun with it, which was good. He was talking about a conspiracy that the Bucks sat Malik Beasley out with a fake illness, so that they could give Andre Jackson the starting job. Which is it's very funny because if teams are going to bench someone, they just go up and go, "Hey, you're coming off the bench," and then they talk about it. They don't make up a fake illness and say, "Hey, you're not going to play this game. You're not actually sick, but just don't play him so we can sneak someone else in." That was a pretty funny moment. But yeah, Malik Beasley's back starting. Again, not really shocked on that one. So that's the lineup for the Bucks: Lillard, Beasley, Middleton, Giannis, and Brookie. And Andre Jackson off the bench. Okay. True that. I feel like that's a great question. All NBA third stringer. They're the guys who aren't rotation players. Isaiah Jackson, starting center. That's one for the off season. I think it's a lot. I don't think you know how little time that I have during the day to do this sort of stuff. I wish I had more than that. Paul Pierce said he could score 20 on the Spurs and the Pistons today. If there's one thing I don't ever want to do is I don't want to hear from former players. They don't know what they're talking about. Especially these idiots. Paul Pierce, Kendrick Perkins, Gilbert Arenas, JJ Redick, sure. Richard Jefferson, pretty good. But some of these guys are just full clowns. Does fantasy affect my mental health? I don't know, because this is fantasy but also work. So sure, work affects everyone's mental health to a degree. I don't know, Yuri. How do we get more women to play fantasy? I wish I knew. Anytime I see, and it's hard because I don't know where to see it, but anytime I see a woman that follows me across social media, I make sure to try and follow them back. Anytime I see a woman who's trying to break into the industry, I will try and follow them and interact with them as much as I can. I try and make stuff as inclusive as I can, as possible. But I don't know. I honestly don't know how to do it. There's way more women that play fantasy football. Heaps of them. There's a lot of women playing fantasy football. I think maybe, Yuri, maybe it's more female content creators. I don't know. Maybe that's it. There's just not that. I can't think of a single one. I can't think of a single woman at the moment who does fantasy basketball content. No, that's not true. There is one. What's the name? She's on a very small, I think she's a Canadian or American. She's on a very small show. Small show. That sounds insulting. Just starting out, new show. NBA Fantasy Bible. I think it's called Between Two something. Anyway. And there was Emma, who was doing a little bit of content at one point as well, who's been listening to this show for ages. I think Shaden starts tonight. That was a tongue twister. Yes, I do. I do think he starts tonight, but he's currently questioned when I don't know any more of that. Would I consider Goga one of the best third stringers? Yeah, let's see whether he is let's see whether he's available to play. Yeah, that's the one. Fantasy Bible podcast, yeah. Oh, you're going on with Steve, Yuri, onto his RotoWire show. That's good. Steve's been getting a lot of his friends on some of those shows I've heard. Okoro is a stream for tomorrow. Yes, Dr. President. What are some of my favorite basketball podcasts? The two that I listen to probably the most at the moment, or three, Dunked On. I listen to No Dunks and Front Office Show. They're probably the three that I listen to the most at the moment. So I think with Torrey Craig out, is Patrick Williams more of a pickup? I don't think, honestly, Torrey Craig hasn't really been impacting Patrick Williams lately. So I thought Patrick Williams was a pickup anyway. And yeah, I don't think the Craig thing impacts it that much. Yeah, I don't think it impacts it that much. Okay. Just responding to some stuff on Basketball Monster. We're going to get out of here in about 4 minutes. I look forward to hearing you with Steve, Yuri. Kayla Fonte. Is that who's on the NBA Fantasy Bible? Is that her name? I'm pretty sure I gave her a follow and she didn't follow me back. Absolutely snubbed. Feminist extraordinaire. Is that being a feminist, is it? Trying to like get more women and to grow if that is, then sure, I'm a feminist. What's wrong with Halliburton? Nothing is wrong with people. Well, that's not true. He's got a bit of a sore knee, but sometimes players just slump, man. That just happens. I haven't done a lot with Durant during the mid-season period, Jason. I should look at it a little bit more, but I haven't used it a ton. I do need to, because I always get into this sort of rhythm during the season of what I do and how I look at things, and I just haven't put that back in. I do need to go and have another look and see where that's looking. Is Eggs Benedict a good pickup for tomorrow? In a points league, sure. But look, he can always shit the bed. We know this, but sure. I also like to lie, Ricardo. Thank you. Have I listened to Austin Rivers' podcast? No, I have not. I've heard Austin Rivers on with Bill Simmons, but I haven't heard his podcast yet. He seems pretty switched on, though. Halliburton's turnovers are really high right now. Do I reckon they'll come down? Look, we've got a real record or history of Halliburton and what he does. What we've seen him do it. So if he's in a stretch of high turnovers, sometimes shit happens. There's a lot of variance on stuff, right? So just be okay with it. This is one of the big lessons through the preseason about fantasy, is that when you're dealing with head-to-head and small sample sizes, there is an insane amount of variance. So don't go too high, don't go too low, don't overreact to stuff too much. Don't put all of your eggs in the low volume category basket, because you will get dicked hard. And turnovers is pretty low volume. It's not as low volume as steals, where that's 1.1 average. Blocks, which is like 0.9 average. But turnovers is like 1.9. It's so low, man. The numbers are tiny. Name me as Cater and add? Not really. Like, I know Porzingis is out today, but Horford will start, so Cater's like the backup. I guess you could stream him in for that, but that's about it. Trade Keegan for CJ McCollum. I'm not really big on either guy, but I think I'd prefer McCollum. All right, let's do one more question before we get out of here. Secular Monk, it's just way too early to do this stuff. Just don't waste your time imagining trades that might happen in 2 months' time. It's just not worth it. What do you do when you have 7 injured players and only 2 IR slots? It depends who they are. Like, if they're out for one game, then you don't care and you take an L this week. If they're out all multiple weeks, you start needing to make some hard decisions. All right. We are going to head out of here now. So thanks everyone for being a part of the show, as always. Appreciate you guys here. Hit a thumbs up, hit a subscribe. I think you know how to do that by now. I would really appreciate the way that you guys can come in and help support the show. There's going to be a show coming straight after this as well, so stay tuned and go watch that. I'll see you guys